Good morning and welcome on this Friday morning to my very chaotic and messy craft room. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and I do my very best to come on live with you twice a week to do a little bit of crafting. I'm getting ready, preparing for a crafternoon tea tomorrow, which is open to everybody to come along and enjoy some refreshments, do some simple make and takes, and just to learn a little bit more about me and what I can offer people. So yeah, lots of prep going on in the background, ready for that. So hence it's all a little bit boxes and piles of paper and things everywhere behind me. But we're going to do a little bit of crafting today. So welcome. Let me introduce myself and tell you about where you can find a little bit more about me. This is me, Love-a-Duckie, www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and anywhere you're searching on social media for me, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all of those places. Good morning, Lisa. You will find me under Love-a-Duckie. So do go and hunt me out and follow me and YouTube as well in all of those places. It'd be lovely to have you along for the ride. And over on my website, you'll find links to all sorts of things, to my shop, to inspiration, to classes. They're all there housed on my website. So that's the central hub where you can go to find about all sorts of things. And we are in the middle of celebration. So throughout July and August, Stampin' Up have this celebration promotion going on, which means that whether you shop with me, whether you host an event with me, or whether you come and join our lovely group of Love-a-Ducklings and join the family, however you want to engage with us and engage with me over this next couple of months, there are free things to be had whenever you shop, host, or join during July and August. So I'm sure there are lots of details about all of those sorts of things, and don't hesitate to reach out and get in touch with me if you are interested in learning more about any of those things. So let us remove that, bring that up. Okay, so I think without any much ado, we should bring in my downward facing camera. I've got a nicely sponged and splattered mat here. But what we're going to be playing with today is another of the celebration items. So if you spend £45 on anything, any current product, including the updated sale page, which is they've added a few extra things, particularly if you're into the 2020 to 2022 in colours. If you want any cardstock or anything, they had some surplus stock and they've added that to that sale page, so do go and check that out. But yes, so even if you order those sorts of things, if you spend £45 with me, you get to choose a celebration item for free. And over the last few sessions, we've looked at a few of them. We've looked at the foxes and the ducks and those stylish stamps. We've looked at the wonderful world. We've looked at a few different things. But this morning, I thought we would have a bit of a play with this paper. Sort of thing that, in its out of itself, may not be the most exciting, but actually can do some beautiful things with it. And it is the silver and gold 6x6 speciality paper, and you can get a pack of this as a free gift if you place a £45 order. And I don't know how well that is picking up, but you can see that you've got these embossed dots and stripes, and half of the pack is silver and half of the pack is gold. So you get gold dots, gold stripes, silver dots and silver stripes. So really great for backgrounds. And of course it's a white background there, so that means that you can sponge it, spritz it, do all of those sorts of things to it to colour that paper. You don't have to have it as white paper. You can alter that and make it whatever colour paper you would like it to be. But I thought we would use this in conjunction with some other products, and we would have a go at using them to create a few Christmas cards. So let us have a look. I think I'm going to take this stamp set first. Now this is the piece to use stamp set. You've got these two big red rubber cling stamp images. One is obviously Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus and the star in the sky, and the other one is this church amongst the trees. So if you like really traditional Christmas cards, if you're sending to family and friends that like really traditional Christmas cards, this is a beautiful set. And you have got some Silent Night, Holy Night, Peace to You at Christmas. You have got the May God's Hope and Love Shine on You this season, and the Light of the World. So there are some really traditional Christian-based sentiments and things on there as well. So if that's something that you're looking for, this is a beautiful little set. So we are going to use the church today. Now, I've not used the church stamp yet. It has got its sticker on it. And it's one of these stamp sets that where it's black is where it's going to ink up and where it is going to stamp. So your trees and your church is going to be left as the sort of negative part of this image. Let's go. Let's have the Peace to You at Christmas as our sentiment. Now, I think with this sort of a stamp set, by far your best bet is to use your Stamparatus to stamp it with, because you do want a nice solid inked background. So at least with the Stamparatus, you know that you're going to be able to go in, and if it doesn't ink properly the first time, you're going to be able to go in and stamp again over the top to get that good strong image that you are after. Now obviously this is a red rubber stamp, so we don't need an extra mat in here. We could put a piece of paper, one of the grid papers, the Stamparatus grid papers in there if we wanted to, but I'm not going to worry too much at this point. Just going to find myself some basic white cardstock. Just rummaging around behind me. Now let's have a look how big that stamp is. It's around about 8 centimeters square, bit of card that we would need for that. I'm going to actually make it 8.5. I think we need to trim it down a bit. We can do. I'm going to make it 8.5 that way, and I'm going to leave the length so that I've got somewhere to anchor down my piece of card. So let's bring that in there. I'm going to sit it so it's running along that top line there and down this line just here, so that I know I need to stamp that again, where that's going to be. I'm going to try and leave a bit of a border around the edge. So let's pick that up. Right, now I think I'm going to use some Night of Navy for this. And let me pop my stamp box underneath there to give me that nice flat image to ink this up. And we don't want to be shy with this ink. We want to try and make sure that we have got a good coverage on there. Now it is very warm today, knowing that we can come in. Rub that down. And obviously being a red rubber stamp, being a cling mount, means I can be a bit rougher with it than I would be a photopolymer, because it's not going to squish. Now there you can see, so that has covered, but it is a little bit patchy. So I'm going to come in again. Give that a good press down. It is quite a large area that you are inking up and stamping, and so your Stamparatus really is the way to go. I think I might go in once more, particularly down this side. Push, push. Sorry that you're wobbling a little bit. Lovely. So now we have that lovely image with those trees and that church popping out from the background. Beautiful stuff. Stamp a bit of wipe. Sort that out in a moment. Bring back in my trimmer. And I'll trim it off to 8.5 centimetres that way as well. So now we have our little church square with a white frame. You're going to bring in this silver dots. So the idea of sort of snowy background. And let's cut this down to 10. By 14.4. Let's take a Night of Navy card base. And we'll have a bit of Night of Navy in the background here. So I'm going to make this a 9 centimetre square. Let's bring in this piece to you at Christmas. for my little piece of white that I chopped off the bottom. And lighted navy again. Spin that round. I think we'll just snip that either end. To stick it onto a little bit of lighted navy. Bring in my big scissors. Lovely. And I think, oh, what did we do there? Not really sure. Let's try that once more with feeling. Here. I have a bit of curly silver thread. And just flicking through my various embellishments, some of which seem to have gone walkabouts. I need to, I'm sure as I tidy up, I'm going to come across more. Very frustrating when you can't find what you're looking for. I think I'm just going to add some rhinestones, but actually I've grabbed some of the sparkle and shine sequins. Or perhaps have a few of those. Right, so let us stick this church to this mat. Let us stick this paper to this card base. And have this little bit of an angle. We'll have some the dimensionals on the back of there. Let's just snip off the end of this silver twine and we'll add that with a blue dot. And then let's bring in the Sparkle and Shine sequin assortments. I think I'm going to go these little silver, they almost look like little washers. And we'll have a few of those sparkling around. And have one up there for good measure. I'm just a little bit concerned that it is quite warm, and that might make my glue a little bit runny. Perfect. And last but not least, I've got a little bit of an overstamp just there, which is why I want one to come in down there. So there we have really quite clean and simple type card. You've got that stamped image, a bit of sparkle with those sequins. You've got a bit more sparkle with that lovely paper in the background. And that's just using that to really add a bit of bling and glitz and to that stunning stamp. It's a beautiful stamp, as is the other one. They are two beautiful stamps. They're really quite striking when you get that sort of really solid background and the image popping out as a almost like a relief in the background. Just gorgeous. So there's one using the silver. Now obviously got a little bit of silver here. We could have come in with our ink. I've got a blending brush here. Some of the, you could come in, so if you want a dark snowy sky for a project, come in with some ink. I shall find some way of using this. So that's just inked up that background. And let me grab a bit of kitchen towel or something. And just buff over the top of this. Remove any ink off the top of that silver, with silver dots. So you'll have a nice nighttime sky with silver snowflakes in. And obviously you can blend that down, make that sort of a quite nice ombre effect from the white going up into the blue. So you can absolutely ink blend on the top of these papers, so you can change them into whatever colour you would like them to be. So don't think that they've got to simply be white papers. They absolutely don't have to be. They can be whatever colour you would like them to be. As long as you've got an ink in that colour, you can make it that colour. Quick slurp of paper, of water, got paper on the brain, obviously. And then let's have a little look at some of the gold papers. I thought we would use some of these to build up a background. I think we'll cut these into some strips. So I'm going to go 2.5 centimetres, which is around about an inch. I think 2 of each will make us a background that is about 10 centimetres. Let's just cut these to 14.4. Actually, I'm going to make them 13.9. Let's just lay these together. By the time you finish faffing around doing this, it's probably just as easy to cut them individually, but did that one miss? No. Don't know why I thought that one had missed. So we have our gold spots and stripes. Now, something I had come and ordered yesterday was some of the new distressed gold 12 by 12 speciality paper. Let me take a piece out of the cellophane. It's really rather beautiful. Look at that. It's just really lovely. Gorgeous distressed look to it. I'm going to cut a piece of this. It is 14.4. By 10, but you won't be surprised to hear that I'm going to gut this, not leaving a whole bit of this paper just sitting behind a project for no reason. Let's come in at about 1 centimetre. About 1 centimetre just there, put it down about 13. .4, 9 to 1, and then hopefully that will join up. If we go from 1 to about 13.4, will hopefully join up the dots, and that will just pop out of the middle. So we have a frame of distressed gold. I'm sure we'll use that bit in a minute. So these are going to sit on there. We'll need to overlap a little bit. That's okay. One is longer, isn't it? There's definitely one there that is slightly longer. We'll overlap those slightly as they come down here. We will work that out for definite once we come to stick them down. But we're going to have a gold frame with our gold metallic stripes of paper going across the top. I'm now going to bring in the peaceful deer, and I want the deer that has the writing on it, and I want some of the trees. There's a big tree in this trio of trees. Take a piece of basic white. Let me have a look how tall this tall tree is. Okay, so I think if we have, if we go 7 centimeters by, what's that, 12.4, let's make this 11.9. Make this 7.5, and that is going to sit on there like that. I will probably gut that again in a minute, but we're going to use this piece to stamp on blocks. A C block and my D block out, I think, for now. There's that big tree gone. My trio of trees. And some Versamark. So let's ink up. Oh, lost a little bit of it sticky. Let's ink up this tree. Let's come this way, and then we're pushing down on the stamp rather than lifting it up. Versamark is obviously a little bit sticky. Make sure I've got quite a good coverage on that. I'll bring in my stamping pierce mats because we have got photopolymer stamps here. And I'm going to come in this side with that large stamp. Now, because it is so warm, I'm going to put the powder on it. I'm not necessarily going to heat it. I'll heat it all at once, but I'll just get some powder on here for now. Bring in a brush. Okay. I'd lost my points on the tree that side. Better. Then let's ink up and stamp some trees on the other side, and we'll do the same. The sticky ink is picking it up off of the block. Oh, this one is very definitely in need of a wash. If your photopolymer stamps get like this, that they have lost a bit of their stickiness, just wash them under the tap, leave them to air dry, and they'll regain their stickiness. I'm going to have another set of trees next to it. I can just about see where they are. Careful not to touch that on the other side because it's not set yet, it's just powder. Should have come in with my embossing buddy because it is very warm, very sticky. I just took a little touch too much off the top of that tree. Right, so we have gold embossing powder, and as always, the embossing powder looks incredibly dull. Doesn't look at all as exciting at this stage. I think gold embossing powder is still one of the most magic ones to see turn as you heat it. So as the weather behind us is absolutely boiling hot and we're all melting, let's bring some more heat into the situation. And let's turn, and there it goes, as if by magic. A big tree. Beautiful. We have our trees. Now let's bring in our dear little deer on the block. We do want to make sure well covered. Come along, sit still. Bring in my mat and press down quite firmly. And let's bring in our embossing powder. I could again have done this one on the Stamparatus, just so that I could have repeat stamped if I wanted to be sure. Right, where's that little brush gone? Seem to have a rather strange stripe in there that we will get rid of. This deer is going to be cut out, so I'm not too worried about roundabout. But when you have got, you can see what difference having slightly warm, sweaty fingers can make. Just where you've picked cards up and put it down, it's amazing how much moisture, how much oils from your fingers the cardstock does pick up, and the embossing powder will find it. So the words in this deer say, "Oh, what fun." This is obviously, this stamp set is one that has carried over. So it was one that was around last Christmas. And it's back with us for this Christmas. And it is beautiful. So we're very pleased that it is. And the other lovely thing is we have a punch. which means I'm going to be able to pop her in there. And punch her out. Now, could possibly, if I wanted to make it a deer with antlers, I could use the mic and the mic. That's because I've just seen the sign come up. I could use the punch and punch some antlers perhaps out of the distressed gold, but I don't think they want to. Shall we have, I think we'll have something coming across the top here. Shall we have, it's the best time of the year? Somewhere I have embossing buddies galore. Do you think I can find one when I want one? No. Let's just take this and just wipe that across there for now. I'm going to take the It's the Best Time of the Year, bring in my Versamark, to press it down too hard because you don't want it to squish. Brush. Oh, diddle-dee-dee. I just flicked that a bit too hard. Looking everywhere for my spoon, but it's literally in front of my nose. Let's put the lid on our embossing powder so that that doesn't go everywhere. Let's put the lid on our Versamark so that doesn't go dry out. My heat gun has decided that it's altogether too hot. Oh, my heat gun is overheated. I'll come back to that in just a minute. Let's put that there. I'm going to get to the middle of this. Really is warm. I'm going to do the same again, about 1 centimetre. Take that piece out. So I've still got another piece, like Russian dolls, coming down and down, smaller and smaller and smaller. Let me just go over to my other heat gun. I should have another one plugged in over here. If not, I have one somewhere. There we go. Let's find ourselves a white card base. This way. And to cut that at 10.5. Or at under 14.9, 14.85 to be exact. So make it in half. Let's stick. Ooh. Oh, fingers and thumbs, everything's going on. Let's stick our distressed gold frame to our card base. There's that bit. Run a little bit of glue around the edge of here and stick that to our other frame. Let's take some what is it? So some sort of law, isn't it, that whichever dimensionals you're looking for, you can only find the other sort. Here we are, we have some minis now. Let's add some mini dimensionals on the back of this here. Let's just bring that round a little bit. And then we've got our stripes and dots. So I'm going to put the top one on and sort of line it up so that we've got an equal border on the two sides and across the top. I'm going to take a striped one, put that across the bottom, and make it so that it's equal. Now we've got a striped and a dot to come across here. Just a little overlap there. And a little overlap there. This to come on the top. Should we find some gold thread for this one? Let's just snip that off. We'll stick this down flat Again, on a bit of an angle. I do like a little bit of a jaunty angle. If you don't like a jaunty angle, you go for straight. Bring in our glue dots. Have that on the bottom, just there. And then we want some little embellishments on there. Wondering what we've got that's gold. Don't know whether I've got any gold brushed metallic dots. I might just about be able to rustle up. Rustle up a few. Need to get some more of these. I've got a couple on here. I left my glue dot behind. I find that that's something that happens when it's warm as well. So there we go. We've made the most of the metallics. In that beautiful celebration paper. And we've got a night of navy, snowy church scene with silver dots in the background there. And we've got dots and stripes making up the background of this gold embossed deer. And that also uses this beautiful distressed gold paper. We also did a bit of colouring and a bit of a smatter of paper as well. So fun with that gold and silver Celebration 6x6 specialty paper pack. Well worth adding as your free gift if you are putting in an order worth £45 or more here in the UK. Wherever you are in the world, that number will be slightly different. It'll be the same amount-ish value to you, but the numbers will look different depending on where you are. For us here in the UK, it's £45 to get your free celebration gift. So yeah, do make sure that you make the most of celebration while we have it. So there we go. There's our playing for today. I'm off to have a drink to cool down a little bit, put some fans on, and to carry on preparing for my afternoon tea tomorrow. You all have a lovely weekend. We have here got some severe weather warnings over the next few days, severe heat weather warnings. That's not something that happens very often. So, and we are not used to it and we are not geared up for it. So we don't have air conditioning in our houses. Our houses are built to keep the heat in, not to keep the heat out. So, yeah, and it is very humid. So that makes it really quite tricky to deal with. So if you're here in the UK and you are in one of the parts of the country that are going to be extremely hot over the weekend and going into beginning next week, do take care of yourselves. But wherever you are in the world, have a lovely, lovely weekend, and we will be back next week.